So this week for Every Bit Counts challenge, my local Kroger in my account had milk half gallons for $1.39, and you can use it up to 5 times. So I bought 5 of the whole milks, and I'm gonna turn 1 into crock-pot yogurt. That's what I'm gonna do right now, and the other 4, which is 2 gallons, I'm going to turn into cheese. And I've done this before, and I will try to link the videos of me doing this in the description box, or maybe in the comments, a pinned comment, and we'll see if I can remember to do that. So that's what I'm going to do with my 2.5 gallons of yogurt. Not yogurt, milk, whole milk. I'm going to turn it into yogurt and cheese. In goes my first half gallon to process for yogurt. Okay, so it's not even 20 minutes later, and it is up to 180. Just doing it again so you can see it. Of course now, because I had the top off, it doesn't want to do it. It was at 180, and I'm not at the very bottom of the crock pot. That would be the very bottom. It hit 180, and I'm going to turn it off now. So here is the Greek yogurt I'm using as a starter. Usually I use some of the previous batch, but I ate the part that I actually separated out to use as my starter for the next batch, but that's okay. I can start with another Greek yogurt and save some for the next batch. So I've unplugged my milk, and I've done it with and without that film on the top. Sometimes I leave it, sometimes I don't. Today I'm gonna leave it. In goes my tablespoon of vanilla and my half a cup of sugar, and I'm going to just mix it in. And I just unplugged it, so it is still extremely hot. I'm gonna let it cool down before I put my Greek yogurt starter in. Just gonna make sure the sugar dissolves, and then I'm gonna leave it to cool to 110 before I add my starter yogurt in. Okay, so my milk has cooled down to 110, and I have my starter Greek yogurt here. And if you see the specks in there, it focuses. I used vanilla sugar instead of just regular sugar. So I'm going to take about a half a cup of this warm milk and pour it into my starter and mix that in. And I want to get this nice and smooth before I add it into here. And once I do that, I'm going to wrap this in this flour sack, and then I'm going to wrap it in a wool blanket and leave it overnight while it cools down and makes yogurt for me. And you want to leave it for about, some people say 8 hours, some people say 12, so between 8 and 12 hours. Okay, so a quick tip. I did take my starter yogurt out about a half an hour before I did this, so it warmed up a little bit. Not quite room temp. It's a little chilled, but not freezing out of the fridge. So I'm just going to add it in, and you can see how smooth that is. Get it all in there. I'll scrape it out in a minute. But I'm going to make sure I thoroughly incorporate this to my milk. Get it really well incorporated. Okay, so here it is. I put the top on it, and then I just tied my flour sack over it, just to keep the top on in case it got bumped or anything like that. Just gonna keep the top in place. And then I have a wool blanket here, and I'm going to cover it with the wool blanket. That's gonna keep it warm for the next couple of hours, so it does this thing. And you can sit it on the counter, which is what I'm doing. I'm sitting it on my counter. You can sit it on, I've seen people put it inside their couches. With my kids, no, that ain't happening. I put it in the oven before. Maybe I'll do that so I can get it off the counter, just in case we need to use the counter for something. But somewhat place warm that it won't be disturbed for the next 8 to 12 hours. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I'm unwrapping the blanket that I have around my yogurt. And it stayed nice and warm. Actually, it's kind of still warm. Take this off. And there it is, folks. My yogurt, nice and thick. See that? Yeah. Nice and thick. And this recipe has never failed me. I've tried several different other ways, and using the crock pot to make yogurt has never failed me. And I have my 2 quart-sized jars here with the tops, and I'm just going to start spooning it in there. So it is a bit loose right now. It will firmen up as it cools down in the fridge, and I'll just store it there. We haven't had this last more than a week or 2 because we eat it so frequently. It doesn't last beyond there. I'm not sure how long it lasts in the fridge because it doesn't stick around very long. So I'm just filled up my 2 quarts. That's the other one. And I've made sure I've saved some for my next batch, and I'll put that, hopefully milk will go on sale again and I could get it. That was the problem. The milk wasn't on sale, and I didn't want to pay like $2 for a half gallon. So it's actually $1.79, $1.99, something like that at my local Kroger for a half gallon. So when it goes on sale, or when I get that coupon, I clip it and it is $1.39. So that makes it affordable to do this, to make yogurt. So yeah, that is my Every Bit Counts challenge for today. Yogurt making. So this is what breakfast looks like with our homemade yogurt. And the blueberries are from our garden. We don't really get a lot, probably like a sandwich bag full, and that's what we got this year. That's why I added more blueberry trees when I extended the little bitty orchard. And you've seen me make granola before, and that's what that is. So yeah, that's our homemade yogurt. And the following are just some of the recent things we harvested out of our garden for the Every Bit Counts challenge. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. God bless, and remember, stay safe and keep prepping.